welcome to everyone around the world. This is the Polity reaching you live from the Abuja studio of King Adebayo Film and Theatre Arts Network, popularly referred to as KAFTAN Television, where we all imagine a beautiful world. The Polity is a program that goes below the headlines of topical, trending national as well as international issues by our team of from KAFTAN TV. Well, so much is happening within the political space of Nigeria, and we are going to be giving it to you blow by blow as we reel out the topical issues. What is trending across all media platforms, broad spectrum of media platforms, is defections and coalition. Nigerians are asking, these defections that are happening, whatever name you call it, Tinubu Hurricane, wave of defections, gale of defections, or whatever you may name it, is it coercion as being speculated by some opposition, members of the opposition parties? Is it self-serving as being enunciated by some concerned Nigerians, or is it driven by pure nationalistic fervor? Well, in the course of the conversation, we would like to hear from you when we eventually open our telephone lines. We're also hearing that Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Kalu, received 13,000 supporters. I wonder who did the head count, but that was what was reported. 13,000 of them. Nigerian politicians have a way of banding figures to their advantage, so that other political opponents in the other political parties, opposition political parties, can have some sense of fear. Politics and the fate of opposition is also a topic, and then we also take a look at defections as it relates to realignments, as well as the impact and implications on governance. Many people have a strong view, hold a strong view that governance has been put on hold. The essence of political leadership, and any kind of leadership for that matter, particularly political leadership, is to make life dignifying for people, for citizens. And that is in the first place the reason why our politicians throw their hat in the race to contest for various elective offices. And the end result is for people to smile, by making their lives dignifying. So we want to take a look at governance, as we're also being told that the PDP is heading to the courts to stop the defections and stem the tide of defections that has plagued the country, so to speak. And PDP, the biggest opposition party, is, if you say, is in disarray, you may be saying it for lack of a better word. The PDP is in disarray, and that's why they have convened an emergency meeting slated for the 11th of May 2025 to discuss the defection and also hear what their national legal advisor is going to be telling them with regards to the marching order given to him to head to the courts to challenge the defection of the governor of Delta State, Sheriff Oborobori, alongside his predecessor and former vice presidential candidate to Atiku Abubakar in the 2023 general election, Ifeanyi Okowa, along with many others, especially the stress structure of the People's Democratic Party. Well, joining me in the studio live as we await our guest that is, unavoidably absent, is Okechukwu Onobogu. Oh, Chase, that's what I call him. And like Esodudu, I've taken to call you that name. Oh, Chase, you're welcome to the program.
It's a pleasure. Good to be here again. And hello, Nigeria.
Well, Chase is KAFTAN TV senior business editor and presenter, as well as a member of the editorial board of KAFTAN TV. Chase, let's begin this way. Defections. How auspicious. People are leaving a major opposition political party to the ruling All Progressive Congress. I'm asking this question against the backdrop of despondency, widespread poverty, then the naira taking a nosedive against the dollar, which is the world currency, and there is Japa syndrome. Young people are leaving the country in droves, even though they are being driven away by President Trump of America, and our doctors are leaving the country for greener pastures. So many things against the current administration, yet people are leaving this party to the ruling All Progressives Congress. How would you reconcile that as a watcher of political events in the country?
Well, I would say that it now looks as though they are being compelled to join the ruling party, as though they are being threatened, if you like, that if they don't join the political party, something will happen, or things like that, you know. But then, that is politics for you. They may have their reasons, which we are yet to know, and we've always known that politicians will say that they don't have a permanent base, they don't have permanent parties, they have permanent interests. So I guess the APC, that is the ruling party, has given them something for which they will run to achieve. That's why I would say, that's what I would say that made them go there. It's like they have kept something important and they want to bring it up. You know, I remember, let me look at it this way. Remember that some time ago, somebody, let me just say somebody, but by the time I say it, everybody knows who I'm talking about, said something. He said if you are in trouble in Nigeria and you belong to another political party or other political parties,
your sins are forgiven.
That as far as you, the moment you join the ruling party, that your sins are forgiven. That was said by Senator Adams Oshomole. Exactly. It's credited to him. Yeah, so you see that maybe just a few months ago, there were talks about EFCC coming after the former governor. Ifeanyi Okowa. Okay, Oches, you know, you have laid the foundation for this conversation, setting the tone, and you are already drifting into the nitty-gritty of this topic. We're going to take a short break, and when we return, we will be introducing our guest who will be joining us to make the conversational more interactive and conversational. Please stay with us. We'll be right back very, very shortly.
While wrapping up the day, unwind with the reminiscence of the day's news from home and abroad with KAFTAN TV 7 p.m. News.
Good to have you join us on KAFTAN News at 7.
Nigerians are living in up to 5%. Our young people repurpose the Harmony Symphony.
It's good to have you join us on KAFTAN TV News at 7.
We found that the 10 naira is not actually sufficient.
National, foreign news headlines. Get balanced, accurate facts on the latest news in business, politics, entertainment, sports, and more. Live from our studios.
Many thanks for watching. Join us again at 9
KAFTAN TV News.
In the beginning, God created a beautiful world.
3, 2, 1. Action.
And that's why, at KAFTAN Television,
we imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
Three, two, one. Action.
And that's why, at KAFTAN Television,
we imagine a beautiful world.
We are not just bragging.
We blaze the trail in broadcasting. And it is about you.
At KAFTAN TV, broadcasting is not just about information, education, and entertainment.
It's an aggregation of all you need to know in Nigeria
and around the world to create signal.
At KAFTAN Television, we have all it takes to be on top in broadcasting.
Our mission is simple: to project Africa in a truthful yet positive manner.
Wait, we're coming to you in style.
Here we are, starting from September.
Take a look at what the facts are.
And as you say on KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world.
When we say on KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world, we're not just bragging. We know our onions in the world of broadcasting. One of our outlets to express ourselves to the world is our flagship program, Matters Arising. Join veteran broadcaster Ruben Okala and our crack team live.
And they give us a high price, and we just say, Nigeria, we ready?
As I said earlier, the lyrics is up, talking about the old new national.
On KAFTAN TV, StarTimes channel 480 and 124, as well as NIGCOMSAT frequency 12518, symbol rate 29500. Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. live. You can join the conversation by calling this phone number 0802-993-8365. It's dramatic and insightful. Don't miss it. Please join us. When we say on KAFTAN TV, imagine a beautiful world, we're not just bragging. We know our onions in the world of broadcasting. One of our outlets to express ourselves to the world is our flagship program, Matters Arising. Join veteran broadcaster Ruben Okala and our crack team live.
And they give us a high price, and we just say, Nigeria, we ready?
As I said earlier, the lyrics is up, talking about the old new national.
On KAFTAN TV, StarTimes channel 480 and 124, as well as NIGCOMSAT frequency 12518, symbol rate 29500. Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. live. You can join the conversation by calling this phone number 0802-993-8365. It's dramatic and insightful. Don't miss it. Please join us.
My name is Sheila BCFR, the Black Comedian of the Federal Republic. I tell you, when it comes to the best of entertainment, the best of news, the best of information, something that is educative, you're right here at the best place to see that. It's KAFTAN TV. Do you know what? Increase the volume. Keep watching. Don't touch the dial, okay?
It's your girl Nkechi Blessing Sunday. I want you all to keep watching KAFTAN TV.
Please keep watching KAFTAN TV. It is the best civil station in the country. They're doing an amazing job. Please do not touch the dial. Keep watching. Thank you.
My name is Shane.
You're welcome back. Sorry for that. We sincerely apologize for that glitch, which has been sorted out by our technicians. We are back. The program has to continue, and it is still the polity, and I remain Macaulay Honahashi. We are still talking defections and coalitions. Is it coercion, as being alleged by many people in so many different quarters, or is it self-serving or driven by nationalism or nationalistic fervor, as being claimed by those that are defecting? Well, Chukwu Onubogu has set the tone for the conversation before we were joined by our special guest who has already joined us in the studio live, and is no other person than Toba Owochaye. Toba, you're welcome to the polity.
Thank you, sirs. I'm glad to be here. I'm honored to be here.
Toba is a concerned Nigerian, and he's a communications specialist and a political commentator that, you know, appears on so many national TV stations in the country to discuss everything Nigeria. Well, before you came in, Toba, I know you were running late to this program.
Apologies.
It's never been, part of you to
sir.
come late for any conversation, particularly that has to do with national issues.
Thank you very much.
Before you came in, Chukwu Onubogu has set the tone for the conversation. We're talking about the defections, gale of defections, or Tinubu hurricane, as some media houses craft their headlines. And many people are alleging that the ruling All Progressive Congress is using tactics of coercion to lure people into its fold. Some are saying it is self-serving because this government has caused a lot of hard work, so to speak. Let me put it in parentheses, because evidently there is widespread poverty, there is hunger in the land, the Naira has taken a nosedive against the dollar, which is the world currency, and there is Japa syndrome. Young people are leaving the shores of Nigeria for greener pastures. Like I said, even they are facing immigration, hurdles in the United States of America and even in Europe. And our doctors are leaving the shores of Nigeria, and killings everywhere. There is a resurgence of attacks in so many communities in the northwest, and north central, northeast, and even separatist agitations in the southeast has remained unabated. Yet, many people are leaving their own comfort zone to come back to this ruling party that has caused so much havoc, so to speak. How would you reconcile that as a Nigerian, that is observing all the unfolding political events?
Yeah, politics is not a one-planed game. It has many planes upon which it plays. So you may not be able to know most people, the masses, may not clearly know what plane are these people playing on and what is backing their decisions. That is one very strong and good narrative that you've made, but I'll try to show one or two other ones so that it gives the people more perspective to what is going on.
That's why we're here, yes.
Yes. So you would look at politics is played on a party level. Or will I say, yes, politics is played on a party level, it's played on a regional level, and played on a regional level. And there's a political swing of power that always adds to these dynamics. OBJ became president from the south and ruled for 8 years. After his 8 years, power went to Yaradua. He did 2 years, so Christian South and 8 years. Yaradua 2 years. After that, he died. Goodluck came in, did 2 years, did another 4 years, making 6 years. And where the swing, as at that time, it became 8 years plus 6 years for Christians, which was 14 years, and 14 years for a Southerner, and 2 years for a Northerner and Muslim. So when Goodluck wanted another 4 years, that will have made the Southern rule become 6 plus 8 plus 6, 14. So I made it 18 years of Southern rule. So based on that, there was a gang up in 2015. So it's beyond what people just... So that is why you will see defections. I'm giving you what will lead to defections. Once there is a strong narrative that needs power to swing back, you would see defections. So Buhari came in, did his for 8 years. Tinubu came in, that was another tough fight to get power back to the south. And power has done only 4 years in the south, and now we are seeing a very strong hurricane to drag power back to the north. So it is, for me, it is even, that is a regional play of politics. Then there's the religious play of politics. We saw where MKO is a Muslim and Southerner, and yet his election was annulled in this country because a certain set of leaders were too, they could not just sit and see a Southern Muslim rule, even though he was a Muslim. And they annulled the election. They've written books to the effect, they've painted it black and white, they've blamed each other, but they cannot change that history. So we see a pattern that every time a Southerner has a chance or becomes president, in less than 1 year, there will be a complete hurricane to draw power from his hands. That is one of the narratives. Then there's also the fact that the North is the strongest political enclave. Explaining it this way, by religious and regional sentiment, it is easier to mobilize 90% of the North in a direction than it is to mobilize 50% of the South in another direction.
Okay.
This is the political play. So once that happens, the North has a stronger hand, which is what they are pushing. Once they pull in a coalition, they have allowed the South to play their own game. The South has brought in 1 or 2 governors to the party they want to work in. If they are able to pull off 4 governors to leave APC to go to SDP, then the game will begin. The game has not begun yet. Everybody is just warming up to the game. Everybody will now have to take sides. Will you take sides based on the competence or failure of Tinubu? Will you take side based on religion? Will you take side based on party? Or would you take side based on the national swing of power? Which is why somebody like Ganduje has only said one thing. Ganduje said, not that what you have said about Tinubu is right or wrong. What we are saying is let the South have
their 8 years.
Let the South have their 8 years. 2031 will be ours, and we'll be here. So these are the plays. And it will not surprise me if Ganduje benefits, because when you support a narrative and it pays off, you are one of the biggest beneficiaries when the swing comes back in your direction. So if they are able to remove Tinubu, Ganduje will go to oblivion with him. But if Tinubu succeeds, all the people in the North that supported, not because they like him, supported and let the South finish their tenure, will be the beneficiaries when the swing is coming back this way, because that is why we are going to support you. Buhari was supported by Tinubu in the primaries because it was a big event. They had Kwankwaso, they had Rochas, they had Atiku. Buhari didn't have the cash to play the game because that was already 3 strong names, very strong names. 2 are governors. Atiku is Atiku. Okay,
Amici was part of it.
Yes. So in that swing, Tinubu gave all his backing and his southwest votes, which helped Buhari win the primaries. Yeah. It was a cash-backed primaries. It was war. So what he benefited to become president was that he was able to come back and say, I supported you when everybody else didn't support you. And I took you across the board, so you must support me. And people like El-Rufai also are part of, which will come to, I'm sure, were part of people who said, yes, you supported that time, so we must support you now. El-Rufai is very strong with narrative. That's why he cannot be pushed to the dustbin. But we'll pick up on that at the right time.
Well, let's talk about the dynamics. The dynamics and the groundswell that the coalition had in 2013, moving to 2014, during the amalgamation that formed that coalition of those names that you mentioned and their political parties, not the same with what is happening today, because they came along with political parties, not individualistic. But today what we're seeing are individuals talking, amongst themselves, visiting, like the last visit to former President Muhammadu Buhari, where we saw Atiku Abubakar, El-Rufai. The only non-family member, so to speak, in parentheses, was Achike Udemwa. So how difficult would this coalition be to unseat President Bola Ahmed Tinubu if it is difficult? People are saying it's difficult. Yeah, it's because the dynamics are not the same.
You see, it's easy and it's difficult. It depends on them. Okay. The best time to have removed APC from power was 2023. But these same people who are calling for this coalition now could not make this happen when it was easiest. Kwankwaso was in PDP. Obi was in PDP. Yes. Atiku was in PDP. Wike was in PDP. If at that time when all of them were in one house and Buhari had done 8 years, and as at that time Nigerians were still crying, that was the best time for them to have put their house in order. Yes, and remove an outgoing president. But that being said, things are harder in Nigeria now for the masses. So you can still gather a lot of votes in that direction. People in the north have believed that the Muslim tickets deceived them. And I also, as a politician, believe that they were primed for that deceit. Tinubu was falling down pre-election. Tinubu was doing balabulu, and immediately got in, falling down stopped, balabulu stopped, because it was a game. Everybody did not felt more comfortable to support him, thinking that he would be an easy pushover. But 2 years down the line, he has shown that he's waxing stronger. He's waxing stronger. He's not a pushover in any way. So the North feels betrayed. And the North feels that a lot of positions have not been given to them. And a lot of positions have been taken from them. And you know one thing for the North, whenever you are attack 1 or 2 Northerners, or 3, and they're able to point to a few incidences, you be ready for a gang-up. So he's looking to gather the South first of all. How much can he gather the South? Will it be contest? These are the issues. Will he be able to gather the South to himself? And if he does, then the North will have to calm down, because the governors in the North will not want to defect. 80% of them are APC. They will not want to defect until they are sure that Tinubu is going to lose. And if they see he's going to lose, they will defect. Okay. So the game is still on for the next 3-4 months.
Otis, let me come to you. Many people fear a journey, the possibility of a journey or a prospect of a journey towards a one-party state, because APC is now boasting of 22 governors out of 35, and they are telling Nigerians that they are expecting more governors to join them. That would be akin to, towards moving towards a one-party state. Is it possible in Nigeria?
Well, I won't say that it is possible.
Because it's going to be antithetical to...
I won't say that it's possible, because I really thought about that on a serious note. For us to have, just as you said, one-party state, not that there is one party, it's not one-party operation that we have in the country, but let me put it this way, one-party leadership, because other parties will be there, but that it's just one party that took over everywhere. Not just even, because when you say dominant, they will still have some people, but they are the only ones in authority. That's it. Then that's when you start talking about one party ruling state. But if that is what they are planning, definitely it will not work. Why I'm saying it will not work is that, don't forget, Anambra State still has ABGA. ABGA has been there since, and ABGA is still there. Nobody even is sure of removing ABGA in the next election.
Of course.
So that's the thing. Because when you talk about these things, you also check factors involved. So it's been like that. Remember that Imo was ABGA originally. Before they now had to do what they did and all that.
What did they do?
but here, their governor decided to join to form the APC.
Exactly.
But then here, what is happening is that, ABGA is still very strong as far as Anambra State is concerned.
That's right.
And ABGA is still performing as well as Anambra State is concerned. If ABGA were not performing, it would be a different matter. Then looking at again at some states up north, that we know have always been states where PDP has been reigning well. They are still there doing well. Like the chairman of the Governors Forum, PDP Governors Forum, in his state, he is still doing well. So it's difficult for you to tell me that that man would also decamp and join APC because of one thing or the other. That's number one. Number two, there are other states too within that place that, like Kano State, that is NMPP.
Yes.
It's still going to be difficult for you to. I know that, of course, APC made waves in Kano. In a fearful manner, in actual fact. Everybody thought that APC will be taken over, has taken over Kano. But everybody who understands the politics of Nigeria knows that Kano has always been at one spot. And Kano has still remained there up to today. So for us to think of having one party ruling state is not going to work in Nigeria. Okay. That's one thing I'm sure of. But then next, I want to mention a bit of what Toba mentioned earlier, talking about the fact that people will come in and looking at the way things are, they may want to grab or take over somewhere, like what he was talking about, the North and the South. I want us to remember that it was given to the former president, the immediate past president, because he was from the North, and they needed to hand over to the North and not to let Jonathan take it up. In the same vein, if you look at what has happened over some years now, and you've seen that, okay, maybe they will want to try to follow your line of thought, so as to bring out something out of it, that they want to hand over to the North again. And some people are supporting the South, maintaining it, like Ganduje and the others, maintaining their lead as the president for Nigeria, coming from the South. Even as at the point in time that the man that became the president, that is still a president today, came in, Bola Tinubu came in, a Northerner also went for that election. Well, two Northerners went for that election, Atiku Abubakar and Kwankwaso. Yes. And it's been touted everywhere that Kwankwaso and Obi came in to destabilize the forces that were to work with Atiku, and that was why APC took it over. But today, if these people we are mentioning, just as Toba said, we do not know. They've not told us anything yet.
And they won't.
They've not told us anything. They may say later, but they've not told us anything. And that's number one. Then number two, that North that had a united front that gave what they gave to Tinubu to become the president, they are no longer like that. Remember that just as you mentioned, the former governor of Kaduna State is not there any longer. And he is not keeping quiet, just as you know. He is still talking and talking tough. And if anybody will want to write him off, that person is writing him off to his own detriment. Yes, at his peril. So I know that he is still up to something. We still need to look and see. And then the fact that he could be returned to the North is something that is entirely neither here nor there. Because even if because of returning to the North, that is why Tinubu is trying to get everybody in the South to himself. He has not succeeded in getting everybody in the South to himself. Let him try to continue to do that. Let him finish first. That's it. Let him finish. Remember, the governor of Cross River State left PDP to APC. His major reason for leaving was that the man that was the major financier of the party then was disturbing, was talking too much and taking it as though it was his personal property. Remember, that is the former governor of River State.
Yes.
That was why he angrily left and said, okay, to spite him, he decided to join APC.
But that's not his true reason. But we'll come to that when I do
analysis. Yes, that's not his true reason, because you may know more. But that was the clear thing that was made. At least I heard him.
Let him conclude.
But I heard him say,
yes.
He said openly.
Yes.
So things like that can happen. So tomorrow, you do not know who else may decide to stand against even this movement in the South and gang up with some people in the North and convince others to come along with them. Finally, I also want to say that the PDP is making a mistake. I'm telling you very clearly, making a mistake by saying that they want to go to court. There's no need. There's no need trying to say such a thing, because it is basic. In the first place, let's ask ourselves, which party has gone to court to get back what they lost through this kind of defection in this country? None. Then finally, in this same point, you are asking, saying that you're going to court when it is clear that the house is in disarray. That is enough reason for anybody to go.
Exactly. It's enough reason.
Yes.
But could you react to some of the issues he raised?
Yes. You see, politics is a very big thing, and people vote by sentiment.
Yes.
The game in 2023 was to block Tinubu in his APC party. And those of us who read politics saw it clearly. Even when he went to meet Buhari that he wants to contest, it was war to even go and tell Buhari he wants to contest. So the game picked up this way. And the Northerners are smart. You see, people don't give them their credit for political acumen.
Yes.
They went around all 13 Southern candidates, convinced each of them that Buhari wants to make you the next president. They did the same to Umahi, they did to Amechi, they did to Ayade, they did to Osibanjo, they did to Goodluck, they did to Adeshino. They made sure that all the Southern votes were split. It's a game of, if you can divide your opponent's votes, then you can gather up. And all this while, if you notice, Lawan, the Senate president, did not show any interest.
Any interest at all.
At all. He waited for all the Southerners to gather. Immediately their numbers became complete. Then the APC chairman came to announce Lawan as the consensus candidate.
Yes, you're right.
Very good dividing of votes. But the only thing was that they divided vote against a Tinubu who understands politics and who has invested in the North for 40 years. So walking into that convention, Tinubu walked into that convention with the 19 northern governors behind his back as he was walking in. That's when they knew that they had failed in that plan. If not, they had perfected the act
of division.
Division
and rule.
That's why even Buhari was not happy. If you watch that video, he was still not happy when Tinubu and others were dancing.
Exactly.
Then began the game to work together again, but that still failed because the presidency and the cabal still preferred Atiku. This is why I'm saying something, and I'll come back to it. While you are thinking party, while you are thinking, did he perform, did he not perform? Or while you are thinking religion, there's a set of people that are thinking region.
Region, yeah.
I would say it again. This is the same reason why an MKO, a performer, MKO is 10 times better than Tinubu. In talking, in philanthropy, in goodwill. He won the clearest election in Nigeria, and people had the temerity and audacity to annul it and kill him, and nothing happened. Know who you are up against. And Tinubu knows that. And it's when, if I don't harness the South together and look for a way to go for 25% in the North, I'm gone.
Yeah. And
this is it. So he is playing his cards, and of course, El-Rufai and others understand this game. Gather the North against around us. El-Rufai must have been hoping that Tinubu will have arrested him around February.
Yeah.
All that noise, EFCC, he was just waiting to be arrested. If Tinubu had fallen for the trap to arrest El-Rufai, and the North gangs up and starts a protest, then he has packed all your goodwill. Politics is a game. It's chess.
So you need to
look and watch all your moves. You can't make a wrong move. Now he can't get all the Southern governors to defect too early. It would backfire. The Northern governors have to now look, should we wait our turn. You, as a governor, you have the strongest chance to become the president in 4 years.
Yeah.
So, and nobody will forgive you based on what you voted now and what you supported now. As a northern governor, should I wait for 4 years and contest presidency? Or should I join this, my regional gang up to remove the president? These are the decisions before those, but an article that has contested for 16 years and we still contest if God gives him life to 100, should we sacrifice our own general northern reputation for his ticket again, or should we wait our turn? These are the questions before the North.
Okay, how weak are our political parties in Nigeria in terms of internal mechanisms to instill discipline? I'm asking this question against the backdrop of people, politicians will to the interest of the party. And the case in point is the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, who came openly last year to endorse Mr. President's second term. They don't belong to the same political party. I mean, immediately after, shortly after the defection of the current governor of Delta State, Sheriff Ovorowori, he released a press statement applauding that decision and said, and welcomed him to the fold. And he still remains a bona fide member of the People's Democratic Party. They have not been able to discipline him.
Yes.
So how would you react to that?
That is because, like I told you, there are many levels of playing, and party for these people is just a vehicle for them to move.
It's just a vehicle, okay.
Sir, if SDP pans out to be the party that the North chooses, you will see the people who are shouting Wike now, they will be in SDP. Party is a camouflage of the masses.
Okay. Yeah.
And Nigeria is the worst case scenario I have ever seen. Wike said any PDP governor that did not submit 10 appointees to Tinubu should mention it. I have a photocopy of all the lists. That's what he said. So how do you tell a man who is openly working for a president while you secretly submitted 10 names? Upon what premise did you submit 10 names? On the same premise, and let us remember that Bola Ige was also appointed at a point in time from the opposite party. Let us also remember that Bala Mohammed was brought in by good luck from another party to become the FCT minister.
Yes.
So let's not talk like as if this is a Wike matter. There are precedences of this already on ground. And Wike cannot say, I will work against my present employer. These are the matters that are on ground. And you see, Wike is somebody you can always tell where he is per time.
Yeah.
He says his mind, he says it loud. You may like it, you may not like it, but you know where Wike is per time. Where it hurts me in all of this is if after all this politics, there is no progress for the masses.
Exactly.
Which is the burning issue for me. Because I have seen Wike perform in Rivers. I have seen Wike perform in Abuja. If you're in Abuja, you can testify. But I have seen people who shout Wike, and they were governors for 8 years, and they didn't do 4 projects. But I can call their names. Pointing one of them, Tambuwal, after such a high pedigree, we saw nothing done in 8 years. So why should we constantly take people who sell us diplomacy and speech, and there's no traction for the people, no bridges, no roads, no schools? Our politics is the wrongest and the worst in the world, I must say.
And you talk about having parties.
No ideology.
In Nigeria, there are no party ideologies. No matter what you see, there are none. Because if it were to be so, how would someone sleep today as a member of PDP and wake up tomorrow as a member of APC?
Exactly.
What did you see in the ideology that is not in the other one that made you move over?
Please add Labour Party to it while you are speaking.
No, at least these 2 parties that are the 2 major ones, that's what I'm mentioning.
Yes.
Apart from, of course, I said there is none in the country.
Yes, I know.
So they are all, I just look at them as just all doing the same thing. So I think we need to define this talk about ideology in the first place.
Yeah.
Because they are just using words and making noise with it, and yet you can't see anything that is what they are holding on to for doing these things they are doing. It's quite a shame. You say that this party is a little to the east, this one is a little to the west, then a little to the right, a little to the left, and this one is centric. There is none in Nigeria. It's just whatever they like, they say, and looking out for wherever it is I can find something good for myself. That is all. So just as you said, it's purely what has to do with personal interest. That's what I see it as. That has to do with personal interest. Even those who are now joining the APC, they are not joining for any other thing other than personal interest. Because if they join, that something good will come for them. That's why they are joining, so that they can get that thing good that will come for them.
Can I interject? Let me use the Labour Party instance, and which is a very nice one, and I think people are not seeing it. Let's say I was a senator and I rode on the goodwill of Peter Obi.
Yes.
To become a House of Rep member. Now, Peter Obi and Abure are not in good terms. There's no 20% chance that Peter Obi will be on the presidential ticket of Labour Party. So if I rode on the goodwill of Peter Obi, and Peter Obi is not going to be there, how am I going to return?
Exactly.
I'm telling you, this is how the politician thinks.
You know, as I said, you know, the image that conjures in my mind is that of Ireti Kingibe in the FCT.
That's one case. Perfect example. Most of the states.
There are so many.
Obi brought you in, and if Obi is not on Labour Party ticket, you are gone.
In Ireti's case, she's going through a lot because, as far as we know, the FCT minister has not let her rest.
He has kept her.
Yes, because he's been taking.
I don't believe that the only senator in the big FCT, the only senator, can be pocketed.
But well, that is what we're seeing, because wherever the FCT minister has gone, he has always taken the former senator. And that's what he
media visibility for him.
That's what he has.
Then she should have her own project. No, sir, no. She is the one on the seat.
She doesn't have to wait for
you. Are on this show. I am on this show. You are not stopping me from speaking. We have our turn to speak. She has her object. She has her project. Let's be realistic. Except these people rode on the goodwill of a very good man. Even the House of Reps, and most of them are defecting one by one because they know. Where else will I get a large, if I don't get Obi's goodwill, what else can I get to get 40% of votes?
As for their defection, the ruling party, they have done that a long time ago. I hope you know. Their defection has been long.
They are not all of them will go.
Yes. You know, it's just that I think...
It's sad. What I'm just bringing up is
that's why Kingsbury is still where she is. And of course, he wants to maybe, even if after this I'll go, no problem, but let me do my work and just go. Right.
Okay.
I know that previously brought forth that
at this auspicious time, let's open the telephone line. Please, viewers, do call in so that the program can be interactive, incisive, engaging, as well as conversational. I'm here in the studios live with Toba Owejaye, communications specialist and public affairs commentator, who is a man of so many parts, and as well as Okechukwu Onobogu Chase, KAFTAN TV in-house analyst, as well as senior business editor and presenter, as well as member of the editorial board of KAFTAN TV. We're here trying to unpack, the girl of defections and the alignments, as well as we're also taking a look at the fate of opposition. Let me ask you, many people are saying, this unfolding political shenanigans has ensured that governance has been kept aside. Is it true that there's no more focus on, provisions of expectations of good governance? Because the essence of leadership is to make life dignifying for all Nigerians.
If you ask me, I will tell you that in some states it's like that. But in many states, it's no longer like that.
I'm sure we're going to mention Anambra.
Of course, if you mention
Anambra is doing well.
Enugu is still working.
Enugu is doing very well. Wike is doing well. Oti is doing well.
No, Wike is not a governor. So at least we're talking about he's appointed. He was appointed. But he's doing the work, of course. As a minister, of course. Nobody will take it away from him. He is doing his work. Good work for that matter as a minister.
Yes.
But we're talking about governors now who were elected. So you look at these governors that we've mentioned, almost all in the southeast, they are still doing their work well. So that's the area I know quite well. Of course, you cannot take away the fact that the governor of Lagos State is still doing his work well. In spite of the fact that we're talking about all these things. So there are some governors that are preparing well by doing more work for everyone to see. You know, and when such people are working, you can't tell me that it's over. No, it's not over for them. It's not over for them. They will keep working until when it is time. In actual fact, it's even better because these works they do are the things that will stand for them or speak for them.
Okay, let's take this first caller. Please go ahead. Your name and where you're calling from. You're on to the polity. Please go ahead.
From Gombe.
Your name is what?
Gombe.
Fairman from Gombe. Go ahead with your contribution, please.
You are welcome. I want to appreciate the gentleman at the studio.
Okay.
So far, what we actually want to say about the government is that those of us that are demanding the grassroots, definitely the prices of food costs and other essential commodities in the market were not as bad as it used to be. We are getting it right, and we want to appreciate the government that they are on their track. It's just a matter of time that we should give them. Definitely, we are going to get it in order. That is my focus.
Thank you very much, sir.
Toba, you know, this is the kind of thing we're talking about, in spite of the fact that we are paying so much in terms of tariff for telecommunication services. Services remain very, 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 very poor. This is the evidence. You know, this program was fashioned out to give Nigerians the platform where they can call in to verbalize their thoughts, you know, cross-fertilize ideas, and they do that by calling in. But services remain very, very poor, and it's, you know, one of the expectations of good governance for Nigerians. So that's why I asked that question in the first place. You know, with each outing, we get not less than 15 to 20 calls, apart from the drop calls. But today, you can really see only one caller. We have a second caller, but I would like to respond to that.
Let's have a caller. So
go ahead. Hello? You're on to the polity?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Please, could you turn down the volume of your TV set?
I'm very appreciative of the program.
Turn down the volume of your TV, then tell us your name and where you're calling from.
I'm coming from National State.
National State.
Under total local government.
Total local government. Go ahead. Turn down the volume of your heroes.
What I want to say is that the Tinubu has a bright future to win election in 2027.
Okay.
If Tinubu wanted to win, he must make sure local government autonomy has been on ground.
Okay.
Yes, that's my contribution.
Thank you very much.
In addition to what he said, I want to respond to that. Yes.
Yes, he's saying that Tinubu giving local government autonomy,
financial autonomy,
is a good thing. For me, it's one of the best things. But the governors have not fully allowed it to work.
Yes,
in Edo State, a friend of mine who was a local government chairman, we had drawn up 4 good plans, only for the new governor to come on board, and somehow they gathered, used 2 people, two members to impeach him from the Council of 12. So they are still hanging, and they've not been able to access their funds. The politicking is stopping the governance. That's what I'm coming back to. If those chairmen were well seated and rested, they will be doing stuff.
Exactly.
But people who are very good governors still find the way to deliver. I will come back to Ireti and Wike. If it was Natasha that was the FCT minister with Wike, she would be going her own outing. She would be doing her own projects.
FCT senator.
Yes, senator, I mean. She would have been doing her own projects. And see, the constitution and the budget gives you enough to do as a person. A senator can write to UN for funds. A senator, there are a lot of things you can do as a person. You don't even, it's a standalone office.
You're talking about creativity now.
Yes, you have to be creative. You have to be in the face of the people. If I was the FCT senator, I would have been to this KAFTAN TV 12 times.
Exactly.
Be in the face of the people.
Never seen
Those are the things you need to do. Don't say one person fought with you last year. This year, we didn't want this year to be about politics, about governance, but this defections and SDP has forced all the politicians' hands. We need to take this call.
I like to take this call, Toba. You can see from right there. Please go ahead. Your name and where you're calling from?
Hello. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Ezekiel from Abeokuta.
Ezekiel from Abeokuta, please, let's hear your contribution.
Yes. You know what is going on? You know, Tinubu is a master of
the game.
Tinubu is just playing game, what we call game. He's playing game among these so-called you know, Tinubu is not joke with all this 27.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
So what you are saying, hello?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you now. Oh, we have lost the caller. It's not his fault. It's just a epileptic nature of the
network.
Because, yeah, go ahead. We're in a line of thoughts before we receive.
Yes, yes. So we need but all of this. The only thing that will free Nigeria's politics is when the people become less gullible. The people, I'm sorry to say, the people is the reason why we have this kind of leaders. Because if you know that just hoard money for the last 1 year, share money on the last week, 1 month or to elections to 50 hands, then 3 days to election, share hand to the boys on the street, then on the election day, bring cash on the election day, then settle the judges.
Yeah, politician, you know the game.
Yes. You won the election without, so
exactly.
If you don't need us to win the election, then you won't need us when it's time for you to do your work.
Exactly.
We need a wise and open-eyed populace so that we can say we are not voting because you are a Christian. We are not voting you because you are a Muslim. We are not voting you because you are PDP. We are not voting you because you are APC. When we become wise and the people cannot, the politicians cannot clearly predict where we are going, then they become afraid of us.
In addition
and
to
they
that,
will work for us.
In addition to that,
yes, sir.
Having people who are prepared to vote is one, and having the good umpire that will give what you have done is another.
Okay, let's take this caller. Let's hear your perspective, please. Where are you calling from and what's your name?
Hello.
Yeah, loud and clear, please, your name.
My name is Bulus Bayero Wayo. I'm calling from Zamfara State.
Bulus from Zamfara. Go ahead. Let's hear from you.
Yes. I want to comment the panelists.
Okay.
The way they are affecting these detections and whatever.
Okay.
I want to correct this narrative. Number one, how many grassroots people that are listening to this, conversation you are making?
So many.
Let's say small.
People have proved that he has been in politics in Nigeria for 40 years.
Yeah.
Knows the North. Whether he drinks the North milk, as long as he's not from the North, Muslim teacher cannot help him. He knows that very well. And he's playing his politics very well. Tinubu is trying to hold on to the middle belt. And the truth of the matter from the grassroots is that the North is no longer 19 states that you are talking about. In time past, the middle belt has been deceived. When they want political positions, they will say North. Once they got it, something from the middle belt, they will say, you are from the North. And then you go to the South they say, you are from the North. The North will say, you are from the South. So we have known that. Tinubu have known that very well. So he's trying to say that once you hold the middle belt together, your last statement from the chairman of the middle belt, that's true. They have come out clearly to say we are aligning with the South, we are no longer Northerners. And then you look at it, even Shetima that come from South, Northeast, they don't look at him as somebody that is from the North. You can see that from the grassroots accusing him that he is not from the North. So the Northeast should know that. So the North has been divided. Tinubu playing his cards very well. Just like you said, division sometimes as a decision. Take this pocket from Kaduna, everybody that is shouting everywhere, only in head. In fact, he's really lucky that know they have suffered. If he was, you would have picked him since. And then when you are saying that when they arrest the one who comes down with nothing workable, you know, I like the way Tinubu is playing. He's just allowing him to be shouting everywhere. He's just looking forward to us. Look at Kaduna, for example. I'm from Southern Kaduna.
You're from Southern Kaduna, from your name.
If I generalize to everything, why would we defect to everything? Why came now? He's working with us. He's working our interests. Look at the progress that we're having. Look at Kaduna State. All the schools in Kaduna State are concentrated in Zaria. Even the state university that was there, you know, the campus taken to Kamalchan, gradually he moved, you know, the structure back to, you know, Kaduna. You know, and then when you have all our schools that are giving one university, he didn't give us. They forget it now that we're changed. And we are putting an applied sciences university, we are getting a medical center, you know, we are getting a commercial secondary school, you know, we are getting a military base. So why would we go to APC?
Thank you.
You know, so it's not the game of interest. So I want to commend Tinubu for what he's doing.
Okay.
He has read the law, he knows them very well. Even if you buy them and give them milk, they work against it. So I think it's a good job. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. You can see
I would love to comment on that. That's why politics is very good,
yes,
and can work. Tinubu didn't win Southern Kaduna.
He did not.
There's no APC senator there. It's SMK who is there. He's a good friend of mine, and he's doing very well. And he pushed to the president that we need a university here. We don't have a university in this axis. And he pushed a bill, and Tinubu supported it, and went back into 2025 budget and funded the university.
Yes.
And a large chunk of people in the north, core north, got angry. That why is he doing that? Is there no still school in Zaria? A school can be anywhere.
Exactly.
So from there, he now made Bishop Kuka the chancellor of that school.
Yes.
He made the people in Southern Kaduna, like this young man, more happy, and he made some other people more angry.
More angry, yes.
So I'm telling you that this politics is 2027 is going to be the most divided election in the history of Nigeria.
So I want you to address the issue of, you know, this agitation for middle belt is gaining traction, and Bulus Wayo from Zamfara said, who is an indigenous of Kaduna State, mentioned it.
Yes.
He said, we shouldn't be talking about 19 northern states anymore because it is divided. You alluded to that.
Yes, I have mentioned it a long time. You see, politics is a game of hiding and getting numbers but hiding. So the way the North did it was to annex the middle belt into the North and call the middle belt North Central.